Hi, welcome. This is my second video on my Unit 7 Part C&D coursework. In this video, we're going to be creating a remotely accessible user account via SSH keys. So the first thing we want to do is create a directory with using the SSH name, and to do this, we can use the mkdir syntax. So we can use this via saying mkdir.ssh, and it'll create a file for us. To be able to check all the files on the system, we can type in ls space -la. And as you can see at the bottom, there's a file called SSH. What we want to do next is to change the file permissions to 700. This way, only the owner is able to read, edit, and open the file. Then what we want to do is to create a CD. To go into the SSH directory using CD, and this will allow us to create new files within the SSH files. For example, then we're creating a new authorized keys file via the touch syntax, and it's going to be in the into the SSH directory. We can then check that using lsla, and as you can see here, there's an authorized key file saved there. Then for the authorized keys file, we want to change the permissions again to 600. This way, only the owner is able to read and edit the authorized keys file. And then we can check afterwards with the ls.la, and you can see the authorized keys there. What we then want to do is to open PuTTY key generator. This is where we're going to create our SSH key. And afterwards, what we want to do is to click generate. And afterwards, to generate the key, we have to create random movements on our keypad. And after when it's done, we'll be given something like the first photo here. And what we want to do next is to copy this entire thing, the entire key, because we're going to be using later to be able to put it into the authorized keys file. But after that, we want to save the private key. Once we save the private key, we can choose anywhere we want to save it. I chose to store in my downloads, but you can choose to store it anywhere else. Once we saved it, we want to go back to our Ubuntu server. We want to head over to our Ubuntu server, and what we want to do is to enter nano authorized keys. This will basically allow us to go into the inbuilt nano editor. After when we reach here, it will show us something like in the second photo, but we want to be able to paste it. We have to paste it by using right click. We can't use Control V. After we've done that, we can press Control X, press Y, and then click enter to save it. Now, when we want to access our remotely user account, we want to copy the public IPv4 address. We want to go to PuTTY again, create a new session to enter the host name, and then after we go to SSH, and then afterwards click on author. And afterwards, what we want to do is click on authentication, and afterwards we want to click we want to use our SSH key that we created earlier. After we've done that, we want to be able to transfer the HTML file onto our website. So we want to open our command prompt, and we want to copy the path of our SSH key. And after what we want to do after is to type in our host name or domain name. And after we have to type in PSFTP before that. This is a file transfer protocol. It's a file transfer protocol that allows you to transfer files securely. There's different versions of it like WinSCP. However, we're going to be using for this method, we're only going to be using PSFTP. So we want to have an HTML saved. We can use this via Notepad, and after we can type in what we want. We can learn how to type in HTML form, but this is very simple. Just I love cybersecurity as the letters, and the title will be in my Unit 7 website. And then what we want to do is to type in puts, and afterwards and then afterwards the path of the HTML file we just created. And we just type in enter, and then afterwards we should be able to find, after we type in our domain name, something like this. And that's how we transfer HTML files.